color is it?
It's blue. It's blue.
Oh,
What happened?
oh my God!
Yellow bean.
Oh my God.
Breaking news, I have called over to my counterparts at the White House, and I can confirm that President Trump has been made aware of this situation. And tragically, it appears that a military helicopter collided with a regional jet at DCA Airport right here in Washington, D.C. That's all I can confirm at this point in time. And I can just say that the thoughts and the prayers of the entire Trump administration are with all those that are involved. And we ask the public in this area to please stand by for guidance from law enforcement and allow them to do their jobs as they attempt to save lives right now.
Okay, folks, I'm sorry, but my conspiracy theory senses are really tingling on this one. Somehow, some way, in the year of 2025, with all of the flight radars and tracking that we have in today's world, in today's society, with today's technology, somehow, just moments ago, a BlackHawk helicopter collided with a commercial airliner right near Reagan National Airport in Washington, D.C. Folks, this is a military BlackHawk helicopter colliding with a commercial airliner. And I've looked at the video. I sat here and I watched the replay of the video over a dozen times before I decided to record this video. And tragic accidents happen. We all know that. I'm not here to tell you otherwise. All I'm saying is when I'm looking at the video of this crash, I just don't understand how this happened. I don't understand how this happened with the technology that we have today and all of the flight tracking and everything we have today. But also, it just is like clear as day. How do you collide right into this freaking airplane? It almost looks like the helicopter just decides, hey, I'm going to fly right into this airplane. Now, as of right now, it's very early on. We don't know what's going on. By the time you watch this video, a little bit will have passed because I have to upload the video. But right now, I'm thinking, when I'm looking at the news, it's like around 60 people, they say, have possibly lost their lives here. I'm seeing reports of a few people being rescued out of the river. There's a lot of details floating around right now, and nothing's been 100% confirmed. But there is some weirdness here, because this isn't just any BlackHawk helicopter. It's a VH-60 BlackHawk VIP transport. Okay, this is the type of helicopter that you usually transport really high-profile people in, right? Really important people, maybe, high-ranking people within our military and things of that nature. So who could have been aboard this helicopter? And then you have to ask the question, who could have been aboard the airplane? That's the first questions we need to ask. Is there a motive to take some of these people out? Now, like I said, this could be a tragic accident. Right now, I don't know. This situation just took place. All I'm saying is that right away, I'm noticing some things that are sticking out to me that are kind of worrisome. So I'm hoping, obviously this is tragic regardless, but there's a possibility that very high-ranking people within our military, could have been wiped out just now. And I don't know what type of chaos that may cause. You know what I mean? What type of fallout may happen after that. And we don't know this for sure, but it appears that this helicopter could have been coming from near the CIA headquarters. Once again, all of this information is not set in stone right now. We don't have official confirmation on a lot of this, and we may never get official confirmation. But right now, I'm just questioning who in the hell is on this helicopter, and hey, who could be on the airplane? Because it looks like these are some, this could be some very high-profile people. But it's also being said that there's a possibility that this helicopter was not broadcasting ADS-B data, which would make the helicopter, be harder to find on the radars and stuff like that. Now, I would assume that usually when they don't broadcast this data, maybe it's because there's high-profile people on the helicopter and they don't want the helicopter to necessarily be able to be tracked by anyone. You know what I'm saying? Because who knows what people may try. But once again, this is not set in stone. This is just early on information that is pouring out.
I'll keep it off the record, but a well-known congressman just wrote me and said off the record, this congressman was told, look at that response. I don't think we'd see that kind of response if something significant didn't happen here. I pray that that is not the case. But this congressman is telling me and confirming what Kevin Corke said, that this congressman is being told that there are 60 plus dead. I hope and pray that that is not true. Very, very chilling. Apparently there is some videotape that we might be getting up here momentarily as well. Let me bring into the program now, joining us on the phone, former commercial airline pilot safety expert Kathleen Banks. Kathleen, I can't imagine a response like that unless something very, very significant happened.
Hey, Sean, I'm sorry to be talking to you again under such tragic circumstances. As one of your previous guests said, this is highly ironic in that we did have that very famous crash that actually ended up doing a lot for aviation safety. That would have been Air Florida that hit the Potomac Bridge, taking off out of Washington National in 1982. What's ironic is it is, I believe, the same week. I think it was, roughly about the same week. What it's looking like right now, and as you know, this is all very breaking news, all coming in very quickly. Lots of stuff unverified at this point, so we have to be very careful. But reports I'm getting from people in the industry are telling me that this was a commuter airline flight from Wichita to DCA, that appears to be the case, at least from what we are hearing, again, preliminarily. I don't want to name the airline or the flight number. And again, these regionals have the flag carrier. In other words, many of them fly for a major U.S. airline. And they have those.
Because we just got this from the Associated Press, and it says, quoting here, in audio from the air traffic control tower around the time of the crash, a controller is heard asking the helicopter, quoting here, Pat 25, do you have the CRJ in sight? In reference, of course, to the passenger aircraft. Tower, did you see that? Another pilot is heard calling seconds after the apparent collision. The tower immediately began diverting other aircraft from Reagan. So it appears there was some concern going in as to whether the BlackHawk helicopter had seen or could see this plane that was clearly on final approach. Kyle.
That is correct, Trace. Good evening.
Also, Paul Wagner is being told that they are being taken to the MPD helipad off South Capitol Street. So this is some good news that we know that those first responders are finding survivors there in those waters.
I mean, considering the fact that we saw the images from EarthCam of what looked like a fireball in the air when this American Eagle flight from Wichita, Kansas, as you're looking here, we're going to show it to you again. This American Eagle flight from Wichita, Kansas was supposed to land at Reagan National before 9, and witnesses reported seeing this fireball, and you can see it going into the Potomac River. We've been reporting tonight that there is a huge response on both sides of the Potomac tonight, with first responders, as Mark was showing us, in rescue boats, trying to navigate these dark waters in a difficult situation because of the unknown. But now news that there are 4 victims being taken to the North Boathouse Fire Station, and that's where any more victims who are recovered will be sent there.
Now, I am starting to see reports that this helicopter came from Fort Belvoir in Virginia, and that there were 3 military personnel on board, although I don't know their rank, I don't know who they were. Also, I mean, I'm seeing talks of, 4 survivors being pulled out of the river, but then I'm also seeing talks of just 4 people being pulled out of the river. I don't know if these people are alive or not. So right now, when it's early on, you're going to get a lot of different conflicting information. But just looking at this tragic situation, you got 3 military personnel on board the BlackHawk, and they're not going, it's over for them. And then I believe there's over 60 people on the airliner who, I mean, I don't think we're going to get, a good ending to this story. But it's just hard to fathom that things like this are happening in the year of 2025. And of course, a lot of different theories are going to be spread. And like I said earlier, my conspiracy, theory senses are tingling as well. But then again, you have to really take a step back. And I always tell you this, take a step back and look at everything else that's been happening lately. We have a lot of problems with airplanes, plane crashes, planes falling apart, just total incompetence when it comes to how a lot of these companies that are building these airplanes, just total incompetence. They're cutting corners, cheap parts, and a lot of these different airline companies. I mean, they're to blame for a lot of this stuff as well. So I think that while, yes, this does look weird, and I definitely want to know who was on board these airplanes. And when you look at the video, it's just hard to fathom that you're in a helicopter and you don't see the airplane right there. But hey, like I said, mistakes happen, and I'm no pilot. I've never flown an airplane or a helicopter. I don't know how it is. I don't know how much visibility you have, so there's a lot of different factors that I can't really speak on. All I can speak on is what I see, and what I see is absolutely insane. And it may just all be due to some sort of incompetence on someone's behalf. And I mean, talk about messing up big time. But I'm sure we're going to be finding out more about this over the coming days. This will be dominating the headlines for a little while. This year is just absolutely crazy. And I'm sure there's going to be some crazy stuff that comes out about this story, regardless if it's, on the conspiracy level or if it's just, how someone somewhere, because for something like this to happen, someone somewhere messed up on a epic scale. And I'm hoping that soon we start getting this country back in order to where things like this aren't happening every day. Because every day, and it's a running joke over on my X account, go follow me over there if you haven't already, every day, we cover or we talk about, another plane crash here, another plane crash there. So this is just the latest one. I don't know. It's just hard for me to believe, that this just happened. It's still kind of like, I don't want to say I'm in shock, but I kind of am. A BlackHawk helicopter, VIP at that, carrying God knows who, crashing into an airliner. Like, I guess this kind of unlocks a new fear of mine. This is not something that you're necessarily worried about, but now it's like, oh God, now I have to worry about this next time I'm on an airplane. But for now, you guys let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next video.